Hello guys, it's Ryan Ho back with another video. Today we're talking about the Kiwi X Crinacle Singolo, which apparently means single. Now single as in this has a single dynamic driver. This is a collab with a IEM reviewer, measurement person, Crinacle. And today we're gonna see if it's good. I think it's a pretty decent IEM. I don't think it's perfect. We'll talk about the things that I like about it, things I don't like about it. I think personally that the price range that it's aiming at is pretty hard, pretty competitive. And you know, they kind of have to pay a fee or a tax on this by Crinacle because he needs to make some money off of it. And because of that, you do lose some things because of that, which is interesting. So we'll delve into the details of this one, but overall, I think people are gonna like the aesthetic of this, the lightweightness of this, and the tuning of this is actually really good. So I think Crinacle did a pretty decent job on the tuning of this. So anyways, let's dive into the details. All right, so let's unbox this Singolo. There's not really any frequency response charts on here. It's not really a Kiwi ears thing. It's more of a Moondrop for those other companies like doing that. So we have the IEM nicely stacked in here. Damn, that looks nice. I swear Kiwi ears makes a lot of nice kind of, I guess, acrylic shells. These are really shiny and they're already connected and everything for you. So that's kind of sick, but damn, that looks nice. But anyways, let's take these out. And we have the cable, we have the tips, and well, that's it. There's no pouch or anything. I actually expected a pouch, but I guess you don't really get a pouch because that part of the profit probably went to Crinacle instead, so you're not getting a bag. All right, so taking a closer look at the Singolo, we have this kind of, I guess, two-tone type of shell. It's really nice. I mean, look at this thing. It has this nice, you know, brown, but then this blue kind of infused inside of it and kind of swirled together with a little bit of shine in the Kiwi ears logo. Really, it's a really pretty looking shell. I think if there's one thing that a lot of people will be interested in is just the way this looks. It looks absolutely amazing. Now, this cable that it comes with is a very lightweight, thin cable. I really like it because, in my opinion, the thicker the cable, the more it weighs down your ear and the more you feel it in your ear, which is not what you want. You want to be the most comfortable as possible. So I think this kind of thin cable really does achieve that. Now, when it comes to the actual fit of this, the thing is a pretty small IEM, so it fits pretty well in your ear, but I would say the one thing about this IEM is really just the depth of it. So I feel like it doesn't really extend that far in, so I kind of have to push it in my ear a little bit. But besides that, it doesn't really feel heavy and doesn't really feel too big in my ear. So all around, I think this is a pretty optimized, small, comfortable IEM for the shape. And then the tips it comes with is these kind of black tips, but it also comes with the white tips. And of course, 3 different sizes, so you're kind of covered. In my opinion, I like the black tips a little bit more. They seem to be a little bit more bassier and less treble. I think the white tips kind of feel like they have more treble and less bass for me. And of course, this cable terminates into a 3.5 millimeter. So really this brings me to kind of some comparison. I mean, I have a lot of IEMs on this table, but the funny thing I would like to mention is this is the Kiwi ears Forteza. This is the case I expected to get. The Forteza is $60 and well, it comes with a case versus this one is $80 and well, it doesn't come with a case, right? Because I guess of a collab. Now, we actually have the previous collab from Crinacle. Well, not previous one, but it's an older one, which is the Crinacle Zero. Honestly, I find this IEM to be more bassy, more fun sounding in general. So that's the part I like about this one. The fit is not as good as this one. I feel like the fit of this one's a lot better. This nozzle is like almost too far protruded. And the overall kind of detail and tightness of the Singolo honestly is better. So I do like that aspect of the Singolo better, but I do think like soundstage and imaging, the Crinacle Zero is a little bit better than the Singolo. Now, the Moondrop Aria 2 is the one I really care about the comparison. I think this is really the, you know, $90 IEM single dynamic that's really going to be the real competition of the Singolo. And I feel like that's going to be the hardest thing for it to overcome. So when it comes to sound, I feel like the Crinacle really does do some things really nice. I think the tuning of this, a lot of people are going to enjoy the tuning of this. I would say the biggest thing about this one is I definitely hear a little bit of a boost in like the upper mids It does get a little bit forward in the vocals for like a lot of the female vocals, and the upper ranges of the male vocals can come across maybe a little too forward sometimes. So I was listening to Working by Tate McRae and Khalid, and in that song you can hear that Tate's voice really just comes across very forward in that song in comparison to other IEMs. So I would say the upper mids is maybe the only area that I would be slightly worried of. I would say the overall tuning of this is neutral with a bass boost. So you definitely have a kind of a sub bass boost down there. Not the deepest, lowest sub notes. I do feel like I can't hear all the deepest notes. However, you definitely hear the sub bass, and then the mid bass is a little bit lower than the sub bass. So you're not getting like overly explosive type of sound from this one. And then moving to like the mid range, I think of this thing is probably the best part of it. The mid range is very forward. It's also very detailed. I think it does a really excellent job in that region. So the mid range of this is honestly really good. The, like I said, the upper treble is probably a little bit emphasized, but overall, I don't have too many complaints about the treble. So it really leads to a nice kind of vocal centric type of IEM with a nice little kind of sub bass boost. Now, the thing that I noticed about this is that, this thing was advertised to be kind of like a subwoofer like bass. I expected a lot. My first listen, I kind of put it on there and I was just kind of underwhelmed a little bit because I was expecting some big bassy, like really nice sounding thing, and that's just not what I got. In fact, I would say the Moondrop Aria 2 is a lot better in that regard if you're looking for a bassy IEM, because this one lacks one of the fundamental things that people don't see in a frequency response chart. Like you can't see in a measurement chart that it's actually missing dynamics. So in a sense of like, you can hear the bass notes, but you can hear the music's, the strings, the plucks, but you don't feel it. There's no like physical sensation of it. And I think that's where this really does lack a lot in that area, and makes your music sound a lot less exciting. The other thing the Moondrop Aria does better as well is the bass sounds bigger. The bass also has deeper and more quantity of sub bass as well than this one, and better quality of sub bass. It actually does sound like a subwoofer, where this one still lacks that like deep subwoofer like kind of hit. So it doesn't really do that well either. So really this thing has really good like tuning, but when it comes to actually delivery of it and the actual like feeling of bass, I don't feel like it does it as well. The other thing I feel like this doesn't have, that something like the Moondrop Aria 2, which is also, like I said, a single dynamic driver, just like this one is. The Moondrop Aria 2 has better soundstage imaging, so when it comes to things like positioning of like where things are in 3D space, right, like left, right, and the separation of that, the Aria 2 just does it a lot better. It sounds wider. This one sounds pretty close to your ear. It doesn't really extend that far in terms of soundstage. And then the positioning, it just feels like it's kind of like in this one plane next to my ear. It's not really separated very well. So I was playing like games like Valorant, competitive games like that, it really didn't really do well in that scenario, because I think the soundstage and imaging in this thing is not really that big or wide or that impressive. So I feel like all those characteristics of soundstage, imaging, dynamics, and even I guess bass quality all kind of lack behind the Moondrop Aria 2, making the Moondrop Aria 2 just sound more lively and more fun. Now, it doesn't mean the Kiwi ears is a bad product. I don't really think it is. I just think that for $10 more, the Moondrop Aria 2 sounds more impressive to me than the Singolo. I feel like the Singolo just has really good detail. Like I actually do think the detail is really good. The tuning is really good. It just sounds a little bit lifeless and dead when it kind of delivers the music across. It doesn't have that immersive factor and that kind of deep rumbling feeling factor that I get from the Aria 2. I do think that like if someone was choosing between these two, there's some other things that I haven't even mentioned yet, which is the case, right? So the Moondrop Aria 2 comes with a case. The Singolo is the only Kiwi ears that I've reviewed that doesn't come with a case. The cable, this is nice and lightweight, but the cable you get from the Moondrop Aria 2 is a balanced cable. So you do get a better cable from this. So even in the accessories department, you're getting more from the Aria 2. So you guys get what I'm saying? Like, I just think the Singolo is decent, but there's a better value in going from the Moondrop Aria 2. And so that really just leads me to the conclusion. I think if someone was buying the Singolo, they're buying it because they like Crinacle, they like the tuning. It's a really nice looking shell. I also think the cable and the shell together look really nice, and it's very lightweight in my ears. So I think those are the positive and things people really like about this IEM. And the parts, obviously, if you're just looking for like the best value or my recommended pick in this price point, I'm gonna say it's the Moondrop Aria 2. Either way, you can pick up both of these at Linsole down below. If you guys use my affiliate links down below, it does help support my channel and Linsole, who sent me out this for review. So honestly, like I said, I don't care each way which one you choose. I'm just letting you know my opinion. Either way, Linsole will be happy if you buy it from them. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe down below. Helps my videos out. I reviewed other things like the Kiwi Allegro. This thing is like a cool mini DAC amp. You guys should definitely check out that. I also recently, reviewed the Shozu P20 Player IEM. That one could be a pretty interesting video for you guys as well. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.